2020 was a very frustrating year, and I'm sure a lot of you watching can relate to an extent. The pandemic threw everything we rely on for support and safety and joy, and took a big, shiny dump on it. Life was no longer normal, and many of us struggled to adapt in this remarkably unfamiliar world we now found ourselves in. But only by reflecting on it now do I realize that the shakeup of 2020 actually made me face some deeply concealed fears of mine. Stuff that I pushed deep down. The TLDR, I made sense of some shit in my life by asking myself the appropriate questions and answering with some hard truths. I'll be honest with you, a month after I finished the script for this big return video, if you can even call it that, and I'd already made progress on the assets and animation, I realized I had an increasing aversion to doing this work. I don't think I wanted to do it, and I couldn't work out why. So, as usual, just labeled myself as being lazy, because labeling myself negatively has always worked wonders for me. Good job, Amy. But this is something we all do, and it doesn't help. Originally, this video was just going to be a short update. You know, it's something I can get done in a week and move on. A promotion of what was to come from my content, because my audience needs this reassurance, right? They need to know that I'm actually making plans for my content. It was as if I needed to put myself in the spotlight and declare, hey, I swear I haven't been lazy. Look at all this stuff I've been working on. Also, please don't think I'm not working. How the heck did I find myself in a position of trying to direct those watching to focus on videos that I haven't even made yet? I was still afraid to be honest with myself. I quite frequently found myself trapped in my own head. After fighting to focus for so long on this reintroduction video, because obviously I have to explain why I've been away for so many months, I realized this is not the video that I actually wanted to make. It didn't have the story that I wanted to tell. It, again, was just a distraction. This was me avoiding the real struggles I've had, ignoring my actual feelings and the desire to talk about it. This was me trying to direct the world to judge me based on my successes and not the rocky journey it took me to get there. And concealing that part of the journey, I feel like it sets up a false narrative of who I am. I decided I don't want to present the idealized version of myself. I want to present myself as I am, and my current journey as a living and feeling being. That inability to make the link between not being able to concentrate on work and the fact that I just genuinely didn't want to make it, then all of a sudden things clicked. I wasn't feeling my feelings. What do I actually want to make? What do you want to do, Amy? And the problem with the honest answer to that is that I just didn't know, and that's where the fear came from. Not knowing terrified me. I mean, who am I if I'd gotten to this point with all this success, but now I realize I was letting the idea of success dictate my path rather than how I was actually feeling, which is what people enjoyed about my content in the first place. That fear of, what if I try this and it doesn't work for me? It was thriving in my mind. I've realized it's been crippling my creativity. It stopped me from taking chances to learn. I swear, if I could take all of the time I spent worrying that I didn't have enough time to do the things that interested me, you get it. It's wasted energy. I realized I applied this thinking to many aspects of my life. Exercise is well known to be great for helping with anxiety and general mood. But for me, exercise used to be a way to punish myself in the past when I was in full swing of my eating disorder. Even though I'm not anywhere near as disordered as I used to be, that fear of punishment was still there. What if I put in all that effort to train and don't get fitter? What if I commit to working out and I don't show physical results? Then people will think I'm a fraud, that I'm not working hard enough, that I'm not doing it right. I was so focused on the possible end result that I wasn't able to appreciate the actual journey, because my happiness relied on the success result. I needed something to show for it. I put in the work, and here is my very clear and obvious result that all can see. Look at me, I did it, and you can clearly see my success. That's a very linear thought path, and it doesn't work like that. I've realized how toxic that is. Living in fear. Fear of messing up. Fear of the journey. That end result, I've realized, it's pretty much meaningless and won't bring joy or the feeling of accomplishment if the actual journey didn't teach me anything. I'm not even sure anymore if there is an ultimate level of success that can be achieved, because no matter who we are or where we are in life, we all have obstacles. And without them, our lives wouldn't have any meaning. We wouldn't have any experiences to talk about or be able to help others and ourselves. My problem was that I was treating every obstacle as something so entirely overwhelming that I couldn't even rationally deal with it. Any obstacle in my way, this drawing isn't right, I was interpreting that as failure. And it's not. When we play video games or role play or read books, we are invested in the character's journey. And when we complete that journey, we don't necessarily turn down other journeys. We play other games or read another book or we write another campaign to experience new obstacles. Obstacles are not our enemy. They push us forwards. And that's something that I was too overwhelmed to see myself. I saw every obstacle as being evidence that I would fail. So why even take the chance on it? I'm glad at this point that I've realized that it was a frame of mind that I have the power to work towards changing. Deep down, I think we're all just looking for our place in the world, but I'm not sure anymore if we will ever individually discover it, because life changes all the time, and we overcome, we persevere, we fight. Is that not the most meaningful part? The actual journey, the things we discover, and the friendships we grow along the way? Being honest with ourselves, learning sometimes the hard way, sometimes only when faced with massive adversity does it knock us from our pedestals of what and who we think we are. We shouldn't fear that. I want to acknowledge that I can stop fearing that. There's a quote from Netflix animated series BoJack Horseman, which, if you haven't already watched, I'd highly recommend, that hugely resonated with me, where career-driven and passionate character Princess Carolyn asks for the movie star speech when feeling like the world is weighing on her. To quote from character Rutabaga, "You are the star of a movie. This is the part of the movie where you get your heart broken, where the world tests you, and people treat you like shit. But it has to happen this way. Otherwise, the end of the movie, when you get everything you want, it won't feel as rewarding. There are arseholes out there, but in the end, they don't matter, because this movie's not about them. It's never been about them." We are all the main character in our own movies, and we need to embrace our own journeys. If we hide the conflict and turbulence of the everyday, we'll be too afraid to try new things and experience the world as it is, to make mistakes and learn from them and to become better people. I'm now on a journey to embrace things as they come, to pay attention when things aren't working, and be unafraid to explore potential other options. I know I need to stop treating setbacks as failures, that if I'm struggling, that there's clearly something to learn here, and I want to allow myself the freedom to acknowledge that without labeling it as a failure. I want to start learning how I could produce my own music so that someday I can animate my own music videos. I want to have a great time making creative videos with people that I care about. So I'm rebooting my other channel, which is called Meow Misk.
Like Meow Mix, because puns, haha hee hee haha.
To do more of what I love with more connection. I will have more obstacles, but I don't want to fear them anymore. I just want to treat them neutrally. So, cheers 2020. You fucked me up in the best possible way. But as for Amy, they're here, they're queer, and they're going into the unknown without fear. I'll see you in my next video when it's ready.